Hello, this is the last section of the operations management part of the course, and it's actually the last video that I'm going to make for the GCSE business studies. So if you're watching this video, you've come to the end of the course, and you've done very well. So this is what we need to cover. Quality was on Unit 1 as well, so some of the concepts are very similar, but we're going to look at a method of increasing quality and maintaining consistent quality called Total Quality Management, or TQM, and we're going to look at the causes of quality issues with these large growing businesses. So a quality product, bit of a recap, is a good or a service that meets the customer's expectations. It can be described as fit for purpose. It does what it's described to do, and customer expectations are just what the minimum standards that a customer expects from the product. So those might be in terms of how long it'll last, how it will perform, how it looks, the aesthetics, and how long you'll have to wait between ordering it and receiving it. That's the lead time. So causes of quality problems, especially in big businesses, we might have poor motivation. Remember, this is a diseconomy of scale. This occurs when organisations get bigger and maybe use production methods such as division of labour, specialisation, and people are doing repetitive tasks, and therefore the quality can decrease. There might be a lack of responsibility, so people don't feel like it's part of their job to make sure that the product is a quality product, and they blame it on other people, so no one's really taking control or ownership of this area. You can have inconsistent products as well, could be a quality problem. So firms are producing products which aren't actually identical to each other. So when I actually put inconsistent products into Google, there are a lot of blogs, people talking about this MAC makeup, how from one year to next year the product might be slightly different tones of eyeshadow as well. So it's what they're describing there is this lack of consistency. So you buy a good product, you think it's brilliant, you think I'm going to go back, I'm going to make a repeat purchase. Businesses we know love consumers that make repeat purchases because it costs less for them to attract those type of customers, but when the customer goes back, they get the product, it's not quite the same, it's not as good as their original experience, and therefore they're kind of disappointed with the product. And outsourcing can cause problems as well. Here's some pictures from Foxconn, who produce Apple's iPhones for them in China, and they've been accused of having really poor working conditions for their workers. There were a few scandals a few years ago. You can Google these and find out about these stories if you want to. But outsourcing can mean that it's another business dealing with part of your production process. They might not have the same focus on quality, they might not have the same quality standards that you have, because it's a different business, it's a different culture. Quality assurance can be a method that you can use to improve quality. So this is where you set and try to meet quality standards throughout the business. So you might have a few quality standards, and these are the minimum acceptable standards in terms of production or the service that you offer. So it might be it can be anything really, but it might be if you're working in a call centre, the amount of time that someone is put on hold for, or the amount of time they have to wait before their call is answered. The production time could be a quality standard, the number of defects, so the products that have problems with them, and a way to kind of check up, because the issue with quality assurance is you might set these minimum standards, but then you have to check that the business is adhering to these standards. So in businesses such as retail, where it's a service, we might have mystery shoppers checking up on those processes, or we might have an inspection team when it's more about manufacturing goods. At the end, you have maybe quality control department, a team trying to make sure that the business is meeting these standards. Okay, total quality management is a little bit like quality assurance, but it is with bells on. It is like 150% going for quality. I know that's just bad maths, sorry. It's like, quality assurance after a can of Red Bull or something. You know, it's really feeling the quality. So this is total quality management, or TQM, is an approach to improve quality that involves all employees. So rather than it being a particular department's job to improve quality, it involves all employees. So everybody is told they are responsible for quality. The aim is for 0 defects, not like 99% of the products we produce are going to be perfect, 1% of them maybe aren't going to be. It's always the aim for 0 defects. So it's using this principle of Kaizen, continuous improvement. They use what we call internal customers. Rather than thinking just of your end customer, obviously you've got to think of your end customer, but rather than just thinking of the end customer, you think about who in the business is going to receive your output. So if we're thinking about car manufacturing, the people putting together the bodywork for the car need to make sure that everything's secure, everything's as it should be, and then their next, their internal customer might be the team that put the paint on, so the spray painting team that paint the metal bodywork of the car. I'm thinking, I don't know very much about cars. I have been to a production facility where I've taken students to learn about cars, but myself, I don't know that much, so I'm finding it hard to describe the different processes that a car goes through. But I did see the part where they kind of screw everything together, or they call them rivets, and then after that they go to the paint bodywork place. Okay, so the internal customer for the people that are screwing all the rivets in place would be the bodywork paint place. Okay, so yay, that means you have got to the end of the course. Big celebration now of the GCSE course. If I could give you one piece of advice when you're studying, it is to make sure that any point you state, if you're talking about, if we go back to TQM, if you talk about TQM and the benefits of it, so it should improve quality and everyone's responsible for quality, you need to make sure you fully explain that. So why is that in particular a very good thing for the business? Why aiming for 0 defects? Why is that a good thing for the business? How does it benefit the business? So we're thinking about, well, it reduces wastage, therefore it's going to reduce the costs, therefore it should improve the profit for the business. So you really have to explain fully why something is a good thing if it's a good thing, why something is a bad thing if it's a bad thing, what effect does it have on the business. And those are your specification objectives. So good luck in your exams.